Loki's Devil Fruit might be the strongest in all of One Piece, because this man, as soon as he got the fruit, was able to one-shot a juiced up Herald. And this fruit is so cool that Luffy, as soon as he sees this on Loki, he's gonna be like, hey, join my crew. I am begging. He's gonna be on his knees begging Loki to join his crew. This fruit holds a special counter against Emu. Sadly, Loki is stuck fighting against a hammer. He screams at it to move, but it's not listening. Instead, it spins towards Loki and destroys Bro's hammer in one shot. But Ragnar also gets hurt, where we learn that the hammer is actually a squirrel, as Loki's strike caused it to reveal itself. Now, I explained last week how Ragnar might be a hammer that ate a devil fruit, just like Funkfried or Mr. Four's bazooka Lasso, which ate the dog devil fruit, which is absolutely insane, okay? The first time we see an object that has eaten a devil fruit, its owner, Mr. Four, is defeated by Usopp, the character most linked to Elbaf, and he won using his 5-ton hammer. Bro, One Piece is way too peak, man. Oda planned all this Elbaf shit like 1,000 chapters ago. This is insane. And now, like 1,000 chapters later, it's Loki smacking another weapon that has eaten a devil fruit for it to acknowledge him worthy to eat the legendary fruit. Now, this is an insane upscale for Loki, as Ragnar is said to have protected the fruit from generations of Elbaf rulers. Yet, with one strike, Loki is acknowledged and given the fruit. This could just be due to his sheer strength, but you have to remember that Loki had a special birth. Just look at his eyes and all the different catastrophes which occurred in Elbaf right after. His own mother, who was more attuned to the ways of the world through her feng shui teachings, was terrified of Loki. Plus, Loki is known as the giant who has tamed the underworld of Elbaf, where all the different beasts there are his friends. So Ragnar being tamed in this fashion shouldn't surprise anyone. It was fate. With this, the hammer finally allows Loki to eat the legendary fruit of Elbaf. The taste is just like any other. Bro is visibly disgusted. Then he starts to grow claws and what look like scales. But then Oda hits us with another episode of Silhouette Piece. Yeah, you know, we saw it coming. It shouldn't be that much of a wait, because I think as soon as we get out of the flashback in the next chapter, in a few chapters, Loki will show us his true powers. But anyway, it is annoying, man. Like, why would you do that? The entire flashback was building up to this moment when he eats the fruit, right? So why hide this from us for a few more weeks? Whatever, bro. This is one of the few gripes I have with One Piece and Oda. Like, we are in the end game. Just start revealing shit. Like, you do not need to hide Loki's fruit for another few chapters, bro. But fear not, because Ball's Deep Prediction is here to save the day, like always, especially with Ragnar being revealed as a squirrel. Instantly, as soon as I saw the leaks earlier this week, it brought my mind to Ratatskor Squirrel from Norse mythology. This dude would run up and down the world tree Yggdrasil, basically delivering gossip and drama. It was like Norse Keemstar, bro. Especially between Nidhogg at the bottom and the eagle at the top, with its link being together with Nidhogg. Through the envious words he shared with Nidhogg, it would escalate tensions within the tree, causing the end of the world. And now in One Piece, a squirrel has delivered the legendary devil fruit, which is supposed to bring the end of the world as well. And this fruit is most likely a mythical snake fruit model Nidhogg, the serpent that will gnaw at the world, or Emu, just like how Nidhogg chews and weakens Yggdrasil, finally flying up the tree and marking the end of the world cycle. We can view Emu, the world, as the eagle at the top of this metaphorical tree, which is like the Eve tree that we expect to be at the top of Marie Joie in One Piece, while Loki literally was thrown to the underworld by his mother and had to climb back up the Adam tree to regain love. Furthermore, Nidhogg lives in the underworld called Nostrum, where it feeds on the wicked dead. The more I read up on Nidhogg, it sounds awfully like Loki and his stay at the lowest level of Elbaf. Just like how Loki is viewed as the devil, or the one who should be blamed as the cursed child in Elbaf, Nidhogg is also referred to as the rot at the bottom. Finally, in chapter 1128, on the first ever color page of the Straw Hats being in Elbaf, this is what Oda shows us, okay? A dragon with horns horns like Loki's and a purple color like his hair. Bro even has the signature tongue out, and look at his eye. Does that not look like Loki's slanted snake eyes? Come on, guys. And he's with all the straw hats. Plus, Ragnar revealed to have one of the powers to increase its weight, as we saw at the start of the chapter when it almost collapsed the castle. By doing it, I wonder if it can allow Loki to shrink down. They can even use the tech from the Owl library that helps make the different books from Ohara bigger or smaller for the Elbaf books, achieve this height shrunkenness, which will allow Loki to join the Straw Hats in their fight against the world. After hearing Loki's true story and seeing how cool his power is, Luffy is gonna want him on the crew. Even if he doesn't officially become a Straw Hat, I think the chances of Loki joining us, at least in the fight against Imu, is extremely high and going to the next island, especially considering his friend Mosa might be Shirahoshi, who could be targeted by Blackbeard next. Imagine the real son of xebec standing against the biggest fan of xebec. Dude, I would love to see that dialogue. That would be legendary to witness. We are not done with this chapter though, as Ragnar is dancing and squeaking in joy as someone finally was able to eat the devil fruit. Bro had been waiting for this moment since the Void Century, most likely. Similar to how Joy Boy gave Emmett his hockey knot and created the poneglyphs for future generations, the Void Century King of Elbaf and the owner of Ragnar might have done the same, ordering Ragnar to guard the fruit until the fabled one came. Loki, with a huge roar, faces his father Harold, but he is getting smacked around like crazy until Loki himself manages to land a few good hits coated with Konkorazaki, allowing for the OG Harold, not influenced by Imu's power, to take control for a bit, which makes me wonder if this was the result of not just Harold using his last drop of haki to gain consciousness, but also the Nidhogg fruit starting to show its strength. Another thing to note is that we don't see lightning coming out of the strikes Loki inflicts on Harold. At least not white lightning. We do see like black conqueror's lightning, but no white lightning, which is what Loki's power is. Anyway, Harold says that he is beyond redemption now, as bro has game ended all of the soldiers. Loki rejects that as he was being controlled, right? But then his father drops another bombshell. Imu's power isn't really controlling you, but it's influencing your thoughts. It's like being drugged almost, where Harold started to believe himself as a god who had the right to do everything he has been doing. Imu made him drink the Kool-Aid basically. So the only way for Loki to help his father right now is to kill him, which is traumatizing for our boy. Loki was the reason his mother died, just through him existing, and now he has to kill his father with his own hands. In a final farewell, Loki says, "I love you," in his own way, saying that he will never forgive him. But King Harold simply says, "I love you too." Then finally we get to see Loki utilizing the true power of the Nidhogg fruit, which is lightning channeled through Ragnar as he smacks Harold with everything he has.